Hi, in this video I want to show you some of the settings for some of Apple's built-in communication or internet-based apps. I'm going to go into the settings app a second, and there are three different ones that I want to show you. The first one is iCloud. Now when you set up your iPad for the first time, Apple asked you if you wanted to create an iCloud account. And I don't know whether you said yes or no. If you said yes, your screen is going to look something like mine. You're going to have information about your iCloud account there at the top, and you'll have a bunch of settings. What is iCloud? If you haven't looked it up, if you haven't figured it out or been told, iCloud is a service that Apple provides that allows you to synchronize wirelessly content from your iPad with other things like your iPhone, and even now with your Macintosh, and to some extent with your Windows PC as well. A basic iCloud account is free, which is why I say if you're on the fence as to whether you should get one or not, there's no reason not to. Apple does allow you to pay some money to actually get more storage space, but that's entirely up to you as to whether you use it or not. If you do have iCloud set up, when you come into your iCloud preferences here, tapping on your account information will show you some basic things like your iCloud account ID, and also the storage plan, what you're currently on. I have a plan right now which costs $40 a year. That right now I believe is the maximum that you can pay. The free plan gives you 5 gigabytes a year, and you can choose in between whichever you want. Once you have iCloud turned on, you can control which sets of data are synchronized between your iPad and your iCloud account. I have it set synchronizing pretty much everything. So my mail, my contacts, my calendar, reminders, my Safari bookmarks, my notes, all those things are getting synchronized with the cloud. So they're in a sense saved out there. If my iPad were to die, that would still exist, and I could very quickly get a new iPad and set it up and have all that information come down. Find My iPad is an option there, which is very handy if you happen to, say, have misplaced your iPad. This allows you to go to the iCloud website and then pretty easily, and it works pretty well, find out where you might have left your iPad. By the way, it works with your iPhone too. The photo stream and documents and data options allow you to control whether your Photos app sends your most recent photos up into what they call a photo stream, basically a special magic photo gallery available to all your devices, and documents and data controls whether programs that are built with iCloud in mind can store documents for you in the cloud. Apple's iWork apps, namely Pages, Numbers, and Keynote, all can do this, and other apps over time are gaining that functionality. The last thing down here is a storage and backup option, which you might find very useful. It shows you exactly how much of your space you're using, but more importantly, at the bottom here there's an option labeled Backup, iCloud Backup. By turning that on, the contents, as it says, of your camera roll, accounts, documents, and settings are going to be shared and backed up to the cloud. In case you ever have a problem, then you've got that information available to you. That's iCloud. iCloud usually just works invisibly, and most of the time you won't even be thinking about it. It does give you another email address, but that's just part of the package. The other app that I want to show you that there's a setting for here is called FaceTime. There are a lot of apps, programs out there that allow you to do video phone calls. You might be familiar with Skype. The Blackboard instant messaging program that we use on campus also does it. Uvu does it. FaceTime is another one of those options. You don't have to use FaceTime at all, but here's where you can come to turn it on, and then basically all you have to do is tell it what email address or on your iPhone, what phone number you want associated with this account, and then once you have that set up, it's possible to initiate video phone calls or to receive video phone calls on your iPad. It's a really nice feature. I like it more than Skype personally for basic chatting, and you know, a lot of days when I'm here in the office I'll FaceTime with my wife and my infant son, and it's great. It's just really easy to use, but you don't have to use it if you don't want to. Messages, also here in the settings, is a little bit harder to explain. If you've been using a cell phone for a while, you understand text messages, the ability to send short bursts of text between two phones. Messages, also referred to as iMessage, is a service that Apple is building into its products that are kind of like text messages. They allow you to send fairly brief, although it's not limited to 160 characters, messages between devices that have the functionality, which basically means iPads, iPhones, and now Macintoshes can do it as well. You can attach photos. It's a really handy little tool. I don't use it very often, but kind of like FaceTime, it is optional. You don't have to use it. And you can also then associate it with one or more email addresses, or on an iPhone, your phone number, which are what people can contact you through. Both FaceTime and Messages, if you choose to start using it, when you add an email address, so for example, notice here how it says receive at. If I tapped that, I could come in and I could add another email. When you enter an email address, if your iPad doesn't really know for absolute certain that that's your email address, what it's probably going to do is the Apple system is going to send you an email at that address and going to ask you to prove that it's yours. Just be aware that you might not be able to actually use that email address until you have verified that account. And there's also this caller ID option, so when you quote call somebody with Messages or FaceTime, this controls what name or email address is associated with what they see. I use this, for example, because I have my personal Gmail account and my Grand Valley email address connected to it. So if you ever want, you can FaceTime and you can iMessage me using my GVSU email address. So iCloud, FaceTime, and Messages are three of Apple's internet communications tools that you have available for free built into your iPad. In a different video, we'll talk about how to actually use the FaceTime app and how to use the Messages app. But right now, this is where those settings are located.